Hi everyone, Casey here. I'm going to take you through one of my mum and baby classes. So this is perfect for if you've just had a baby, if they're brand new or up to a years old, or if you've still got baby in your tummy, or even if you've not had a child or or you had your baby about 10 years ago. If you're just looking for some light exercise, this is going to be perfect for you. So every exercise that I'm going to show you today, I want you to do 20 reps of each one, okay? So I'll either do just one exercise at a time, maybe there'll be 2, 3, but each one is going to be set for 20 and then you move on to the next one, okay? And depending on your ability and how you feel at the end of it, you can do the whole routine sort of 3 times, maybe 2 times, depending on how you feel, okay? So our first 2 exercises that we're going to start with are going to be squats into a squat pulse, okay? So we're going to do 20 of these. So you want your feet to be parallel underneath your shoulders, and all we're going to do is just shift our hips backwards as we squat down and up. So as we come up, we're going to squeeze our bum, and you also want to squeeze your pelvic floor muscles, okay? So if you don't know how to activate those, think about when you go for a wee, just try and stop that, and that's how you activate those muscles, okay? So we're squeezing up and down, up and down, just get as low as we can, and down, and then we're going to go for 20 pulses. So instead of coming all the way up, we're going to come down and just come halfway up and down. So really small bounces, okay? So next we're going to do side lunges. So we're going to have the same sort of principle. We're going to go into the side lunges and then we're going to pulse those exercises. So our feet are going to be together to begin with. We're going to step out to the side, leave our leg behind straight, and we're going to bend into that leg we've stepped onto and then in together. So we're going to obviously go for 20 on one side and then 20 on the other side, like so. Just try and keep your chest up nice and straight, put your weight in and squeeze those legs back together. So for the pulses, we're just going to find that lunge position and we're just going to bend into that leg. So you'll probably feel a little bit of a stretch in your straight leg, but that's absolutely fine. Okay, and then obviously again on the other side. Okay, so then we're going to go on to some arm exercises, okay? So everything is equipment free, but obviously if you have equipment at home that you can use, then by all means. So I'm going to pretend I've got my weights here, and I'm going to bicep curl up, and then I'm going to squeeze my shoulders out. So that's 1 rep. So we're going to come up for 20, the same all the way through. So then we're going to go straight into 20. So we're going to come halfway down, and they're like pulses into the bicep curl. Okay, so we're not doing the full rep. And then once we've done 20 of those, we're going to do 20 of our pulses out to the side. So you should feel that the back of your shoulders, okay? So this is the full movement first for 20, then we do the first half and then the second half for 20, okay? Next up, we're going to do more of a tricep extension, okay? So you can step forward to get your weight over a little bit. So again, I'm going to pretend I've got my weights here. We're going to squeeze back like we've extended, and then we're going to squeeze our arms together. So they won't reach, but just try and get those arms to touch and keep them as straight as we can, okay? So we're going to go for 20 of those, and then again, so we're going to hit that end position. We're going to do 20 pulses, sort of pushing up to the back, and then we're going to go for 20 pulses, squeezing in, okay? So they won't reach, but our aim is to try and get those hands together, okay? Next up, we're going to do focusing on the rotation of our upper body, okay? So again, I don't have a weight, but I'm going to pretend I'm holding something out to the front. I'm going to step over to the side and come back to the center. So it's a twist, sort of, you want to keep your hips and your legs as straight to the front as you can, but it's more of a twist from the side of your torso. Okay, so we're going to do 20 in one direction and then 20 in the other direction. Okay, and then straight away we're going to do like a wood chop action. Okay, so 20 on each side again. So we're going to swing down, and then this time we are going to put our weight all the way onto the other leg and twist up. So it's like we're chopping a bit of wood. or swinging, golf, whatever you prefer. Okay, and then again onto the other side, so we come down, swing and twist up to the upper corner. So it's like corner, corner, bottom corner, top corner. Okay, so then you'd have your little rest there. We're going to come down to the floor now, okay? I'm just going to refer to my notes and see what we've got up next. So, okay, so we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So I'll do it at like an angle so you can see what I'm doing. So we want to have our knees underneath our hips and our hands underneath our shoulders. And what we're going to do is like a clam sort of position, but horizontally like this in this position, okay? So one leg is going to just squeeze up and down for our clam. So you want to try and keep your hips square. So instead of twisting up like this, we're going to keep everything straight apart from that leg that's moving. Okay, so 20 of those. Then we're going to shoot our leg out to the back like this, so nice and straight this time. And what we're going to do is try and make a half moon shape, okay? So we're going to lift our leg up and then rotate it out to the side. Okay, so one out and in is your one rep. So we go out and back in for 2 and 3 and so on. So we've got 20 of those, and then obviously we'll go over to the other side for 20 and then 20. So really activating our glute muscles with these exercises now, okay? Good. Right, so we're going to sort of try and activate a bit of our core now, okay? So I'll give you some levels, and this can be as easy or as difficult as you like, okay? So our bottom level is going to be in this kneeling position again. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And all I want you to do is we're going to go for a tap of the shoulder on the opposite side, okay? So 20 there. So that's 1, 2, 3, so on. So if you're feeling slightly stronger, maybe your baby's a little bit older now, if you are feeling a bit stronger, you can take your knees out into this position. So up, it just means that you have to hold on a little bit tighter in there, and the aim is to try and keep our body as still as possible, like so, okay? And then straight away we're going to come back into that kneeling position, or if you feel like you're strong enough you can stay out like that. We're going to drop down onto our elbows and then come down. Drop elbows and down. Obviously, if we do still have a bump, you might want to separate your legs a little bit wider so that it's got room to bend down with you. And if we are feeling stronger, obviously, we'll be out in this kneel position, down and up. And you want to try and alternate the hands to come up. Okay, so that hand that pushes up is going to change each time. Okay, so now we're going to flip over onto our backs. What we're going to go for is 20 just standard glute bridges or shoulder bridges, whichever, if you're Pilates orientated or if you're gym orientated. So we're going to have our knees apart, and we're going to make sure that they don't knock in or try and squeeze out. You're going to press your hands into your mat or your floor, and we're just going to squeeze our bum, which will tip the hips, and in turn will lift the whole body up, okay? And then we can curl back down again. So you want it to start from your bum, so squeeze, rotate all the way up, and then come down again. So we'll go for 20 of those. And then once we've done our 20th one, we're going to stay at the top, and we're going to squeeze out at our knees for 20. Like so. So you want to try and keep up as high as possible when we don't want to drop down like this when we're opening up. So find that position, solid as a rock, really push into the mat and just squeeze those knees out. Your feet might turn up, but that's fine. And down, okay? So our last two exercises, we're going to target that core again. So we're going to stay in this position. Our head and shoulders are going to come off the floor, and all I want you to do is we're going to side bend down to reach towards our heels. Okay? So a little heel tap. So again, we're going to do 20 of those. 1, 2, so it's 10 each side for that one. And then the last one, so it's called a dead bug. That's what the exercise is called. Again, I'll give you levels depending on how strong you're feeling for this one. So our starting position, no matter what level you're at, we're going to have our arms up in front of us and we're going to bring our knees up. So it's like the upside down version of that tabletop position that we were in earlier. Okay, so our beginner is going to take one arm down, and then at the same time the opposite leg is just going to tap to the floor. Okay, and then we come back in, and then the opposite, so arm back, tap that leg to the floor, and in and out. So we're going to be doing 20 of these. If we're feeling stronger and we want to target that lower abdominals a bit more, then we're going to keep our arm the same, but we're going to shoot our leg out all the way out. Okay? Like so. And then that's the end of the workout. So I'll show you a few stretches now. But like I said, if you did want to, at the end of that, by the time you've got through all your exercises, want to do it again, then give yourself a minute and a half rest, go back to the beginning, work your way through either, so it's 1, 2 or 3 times, depending on how you feel. Okay, so the stretches that we're going to focus on are going to be for our chest and our glutes, okay, because those are the things that get the tightest when we're either pregnant or we've just had a baby. So obviously we're holding and picking up, and all this picking up is going to make us tight here, so we want to open out the chest, and that's why we work more on the back muscles. Okay, so what I want everyone to do is feet together and knees together, and we're going to lie on our side with our hand out and the other hand opening at the top. Okay, so this is going to be a big stretch open, so we're just going to take as far around as we can, really open out here. So follow your hand, and you're going to try and keep your hips facing the front. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you only get here, but just hold that and then relax. Hold it for about 15 seconds, and we'll repeat that before we go on to the other side. Okay, so we're going to come back onto our back for our glute stretch. So we're going to take our foot onto our knee and make sure it's nice and turned out. We're going to put our hand through the window that we've just made with this bent leg and pick up our thigh. Okay, like so. And so you'll just feel that all the way down here. It's a nice stretch. And then obviously the other side, I will show you an alternative version. Obviously if we've got a big bump here, this is not the most accessible stretch. So all you'll need to do, if you make your way up to standing, just find yourself something to balance on and just mimic that position, but just standing. So you just sit back in it. So don't try and curve over like this, just sit into that position. Okay, thank you very much, guys.